question. How do you find owner financing deals? And then I'll add to it. How do you negotiate them? How do you get them under contract? Can you go through A to Z?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the one that we recently found was the package deal, the two properties. It was it was off, honestly, it was off Zillow again. I knew it was one of her properties I really wanted, and we offered cash for it. She said no because it was too low, and she took someone else's offer, and then they fell out of contract for whatever reason. And I knew she had two properties, so I told Russ, I was like, hey, I know she's trying to dump her portfolio. She's an older lady. She's just trying to get rid of them. Uh, can you tell her if she's willing to own a finance? And I'll take both of them to make it more like, for her willing to take it on as owner finance. Like, we had to do something for her that she really wanted to do, is get rid of both the properties. So we offered owner financing, see if she was down for that. She said yes. So we pretty much offered 100K for both of them, and she was listing them both for
59
59 each. So we took it for 100K, and she only wanted 15K down. And then her rate was 6.5% is what she wanted us to agree to for a 15-year amortization with 5-year notes. So that's how, I mean, she kind of said the terms. I knew what those terms meant because I already got commercial loans like that on one of our property out there for 20-year on 5-year notes. So I was like, hey, that's actually pretty good. In total, we're going to be paying $740 a month for those two, and they're rented right now for $650 each. It's not a whole ton of cash flow, so it's like one of those boring things Felipe talks about. But our plan is after those tenants move out, because they decided to stay until their lease is up, we're going to fix it up and then turn it around and raise those rents.
Cool. So, okay, so that's how you found the deal. You just found it on the MLS. I mean, it sounds like it was nothing crazy. So this is what I want people to understand out of this. You figured out after you were told no what the seller wanted, and then you gave him that.
Yeah,
And sometimes it's not all money, like cash, sometimes it's no, I want a check for the rest of, however long that lady's gonna live or whatever. So I think that's a great opportunity because you came in and put very low amount of money, and now you have two rental properties under contract, and now you can figure out what's best course of action to do with them. So I think that's great. I've took a 5-year balloon on one of my properties, and 4 years down the road after getting them, I took out 20 grand and refinanced the property into a 30-year mortgage. So kudos to you for not just taking no, but figuring out what the seller wants and then giving them that, making sure it still works with what your goals were.
Yeah, thank you. And we already closed on these two properties, was it last month in November? So they're already ours, and we're really excited because, yeah, it's a little cash flow, but at least we can focus on the house that's currently being rehabbed and the two that we have under contract, and not have to worry about those until May when the lease is over for both tenants.
Can I say something else, though? One thing I told when we did go out to see Russ and meet with him, I told him specifically, I was like, hey, Russ, we need a deal where we could either get ahead of someone from the market or find out what someone needs something so we can be a solution for them. And that's where he kind of like talked to us about this lady and said that she was dumping her portfolio. I mean, too bad we didn't find her sooner because we probably could have got more off of her. Those were her last two.
But tell them who told you to ask what they wanted.
Was it you?
No, Felipe.
Okay, were you trying to prove something?
No, when we met with Felipe, he was like, you just have to ask what they want. And then that's literally what Jovan said. And then I did read a question in there, who explained seller finance to the landlord. It was our realtor, Russ. He's the one that did all the communication between the landlord and us. And he has a lot of pull in that town. And he was like, hey, it's a good deal. And she was like, all right, I believe you. And so she went for it.
Yeah, he vouched for us because he said that, we're good people. He knows what they're trying to do, new investors. Like, they've come through on other deals that Russ has done with us. So that's why she was more willing to trust him on accepting the owner finance, because she was kind of hesitant at first.
And the owner financing, that was like, did it say on Zillow, hey, we accept owner financing, or?
Was not. Yeah, there's some on Zillow that say owner financing, and then they list their house for like way more than it's worth because everyone thinks they have the best stuff, right? No, hers was just regular listing.
Okay.
And I just want to point out that we also got the properties for what was it, 10K less total, because she had them for 59,000, and we got both for 100, so it ended up being 50,000 each. So we didn't just ask her for seller finance. We also asked her to lower the price, and she was willing to.
And then, one of the things that's important about this is, Diego, correct me if I'm wrong, this doesn't get reported to the credit bureau. Like, this doesn't affect their DTI.
No, it does not.
Yeah. So, bam, they just got 2 loans that's not on their debt to income, guys. That's pretty amazing. They just borrowed $100,000 without showing any debt to income on it.
Exactly.
Like, that's a steal. I mean, and all they did was, ask the lady, thanks for giving me props, but man, I got nothing to do with this, guys. I just tell people what they should be doing, and hopefully they take action on it. And this is just a prime example of, they could have took the no and walked away, but they didn't. They took the no and said, okay, Felipe said that we should try to see what she wants. So we did. And now they got a better deal. It's not on their debt to income, which means they can still borrow more money from the bank. I mean, it's a great opportunity, and anyone can do this. Any one of you guys can do this.
Yeah.
Leo asks, hey guys, if you want to put your questions in the chat, I'll let Jovan and Belen kind of answer some of those. We can start with, can you explain it?
What are the average on the rents that you got?
In all of our properties, or just the seller finance ones?
On the on the one that you got for 100,000.
So each of them are 650.
650.
And yeah, and our payment to the lady is 740.
Okay, cool.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, it's not a whole ton though, but like what we're planning is like I said, raising it after we fix them up.
Right.
Yeah, and there's 2 people that are asking, can you give us the exact terms of the loans?
Yeah, so it's 6.5%
Interest.
Yeah, interest, 5-year note, right? So balloon payment after 5 years, or with the option to renew up to 15-year term. So that's a 15-year amortization schedule.
I would just refinance after 4.5 years, or when that.
Yeah, we want to do.
Yeah, we're most likely going to do that.
Yeah, and then I'd get my money back, pay her out, and then be like, all right, bet. It's easy. It's gonna be easy for you.
That's cool.
On one of the questions here is, can you explain notes? I think a lot of people sometimes don't understand what that means.
So that's just like 5-year note. I mean, like an obligation, an agreement to pay off after 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, Jovan and Belen have 5 years to figure it out. Now that scares a lot of people, but that's 5 years, dude. That's like a lot can happen. Coronavirus happened in a month, or in this year, like a lot can happen in 5 years, guys. So they have 5 years to kick those people out or leave them there, fix the properties, refinance them. I mean, they have a long time to figure it out. The most important thing is they got the fish on the hook.
Yeah, exactly. Now, Julio has a good question. Did you guys set this, like the loan part? Did you guys have somebody help you, like an escrow company or like a CPA or attorney to write up the documents?
Yeah, we did use a company. Russ had paperwork already, like a contract for something like this already, because he's done it many times. And then we used the escrow company pretty much.